What about now?
Unlock your phone. It's like turned sideways on mine.
Uh,
Yeah, unlock rotation.
right there.
That's fine. Yeah.
I don't know if I can get this setting in here. I got this set up and I was trying to get it set up, but it's fucked up.
It wasn't rotating. It might be locked. If you rotate. Yeah.
How the hell do you do that? How do you?
Swipe up. That's like a little rotator thing that you can unlock.
Hold on. Let me try this again.
You got it.
What's that?
You got it.
Damn it. I don't know what just happened. All right, we're good still, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, hell yeah. Was that going the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you gotta edit that.
Nah, that's a good way to start the podcast.
What's up, man? How are you?
Dude, how you been? It's been like
Right.
over a year since I've seen you.
Yeah, now. What are you drinking?
It's called Sour Me.
Oh, I look like a Miller Lite.
No, I've been trying IPAs and sours lately. That's kind of my thing now.
I got you.
So when did you start training for MMA? Outside of
Um, Outside of what?
outside of wrestling, because obviously you wrestled for Buffalo.
As soon as I got home, it's like January, kind of picked it up, started training at Indio. So January 2020. Uh, 16, 17 months now.
What's NDO?
India Dojo. Like, what is it? It's a
Yeah.
gym.
Oh yeah. Who owns it?
Danilo Belfort owns it. His dad's Master Indio. He's a 9th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. So he named his dojo after his dad. And it goes his fight name too. So
All right. So you fought last weekend. What was your what was your game plan going into your first fight? What were you thinking?
as far as what the approach or
Yeah,
like
your approach to the physical fight.
um hit him first and get him in the cage.
I
Yeah.
know
So I
that
mean I wasn't.
you
What's that?
you went for that overhook right, and then you just kind of immediately went to the leg. You got to the leg
Yeah. So
immediately.
yeah, it was a small cage. So I got to actually get in it a little bit before, feel it out a little bit. Um, we knew we had to go out, hit him first, and get him to the cage, and then from there just kind of beat him up on the cage and get him to the ground. I went out maybe, I don't know, it's a good takeaway because I got a lot of cage time. A lot of guys like myself don't get a lot of cage time in their amateur, early amateur career. So I got to go out there and just, I mean, kind of get the feel of what 3 full rounds is going to be like, even though I probably should have finished them in the first, but I just didn't really pace myself. So
So how did it feel after 3 rounds? Did you feel prepared, or what did you feel went wrong in the fight for you?
I guess I just didn't really listen as much as I should have. I didn't control the fight. I just went out and I tried to wrestle him down. As soon as I got him down, I tried a submission from every single transition that we went through. So maybe like 6 or 7 submissions, and it just kind of burnt my arms out a little bit. So I wasn't focused as much on getting position and just wearing the guy down. I was focused on finishing, and that kind of just made me fight a little bit dumber than what I usually do. So I think next time I go out, I'll be able to have more a clear sense of mind and really be able to pick the next guy apart and knock him out.
Do you think it was like a rush, like kind of like your first varsity high school match, like a rush? You just get out there and you're trying to pin them right away.
Um, I don't know. It was different. It was definitely a rush, but I wasn't. I wouldn't say I was nervous, but it was like an instinctual thing as soon as I got into the cage. So I didn't feel like I had butterflies or anything. Like I knew what the result of the fight was going to be. I knew I was going to win. But as soon as I got in there and they locked it, I was like, it's on. Like it was a different feel. It was a high stakes situation. even in the limited rule set. So I don't know. It was different. I would just say that you don't think as clearly, and I think maybe that's a repetition thing. In wrestling, you have tons and tons of reps, and you kind of know what's going to happen. But this is just completely new, so not much thinking. It was more just instincts, man.
What was the rule set? Was it no head kicks?
No head kicks, and then I can't ground and pound to the face when I take them down. So that's, I mean, it can help you and it can hurt you, but I think in this scenario, it really hurt me. That rule set hurt me, actually, because, I mean, I took the guy down within 8 seconds of the fight, and I held him down the whole first round. And if I could have softened his head up a little bit with strikes, I think that I would have finished him like with the ref, like TKO, just him stopping it, or just having him submit. Right, open him up and then put him in a nice submission. And either way, though, I think strikes on the ground to the head are essential for a wrestler.
That's where wrestlers dominate because
yeah, ground and pound, baby.
Really control him there. You're just ground and pounding him. Once he moves, the wrestler's already on top.
Oh yeah,
that's where Khabib fucks shit up. So you train in? Do you still train at the Mat Factory sometimes or no?
No, not really. I haven't been back there since before I left Buffalo. Yeah, so I'm strictly with Danilo right now.
And then you have the shop. That's your shop, right?
Yeah. It's kind of just like a personal thing out here. We have a black belt, Nathan Witt, who he coaches jiu-jitsu here. But I take pretty much all commands from Danilo. And when we're back here training, it's just kind of the stuff that he has us do. So a lot of drilling.
There's wrestling there too. What ages do you coach?
We have all ages, youth, and then we have a junior high and varsity program. Youth is a little slower right now because it's off season, obviously, and we're new to the area as far as a MAC club, and not a lot of guys from our area really wrestle year round. So we're starting to really introduce it, and our varsity numbers are really starting to pick up. But other than that, everything else is kind of slow.
What's your walk around weight? You look a lot smaller now.
Yeah, I'm like 173.
Right now?
Yeah, I'm on my way to 55, my man.
I thought you wrestled 60. I thought you fought at 65 over the weekend.
I did this one, yeah. Not in the future. I'll be down.
What are your future plans? You said you wanted a quick turnaround, right?
We'll see, man. I gotta see what Danilo says. If he says that that's the best, then that's what I'll do. If it's not the best, then I won't do it. Really want to focus on a lot more jiu-jitsu. I mean, I have been, but I don't know, man. I want that blue belt, so I need to really crack down. So it's just different, yeah, being with him because you're held to the Brazilian standard, not necessarily like the Pittsburgh standard. So it's I don't know. I take pride in it. I take pride in being an India white belt.
Okay, so you're focusing on the ground game. How about they like to criticize wrestlers because they say they can't really stand up. What's your take on that?
I think they're stupid for saying that. It's a fight. You judge every fight based off your opponent, and if they're weak on the ground, you take them down, you beat them up. It's hard to condense like a lifetime of work into 10 weeks for another guy. So if you can beat him on the ground, why give him a chance? I'm big on efficiency, and ground fighting is efficient fighting. Being a great wrestler and being a great grappler, that's efficient fighting. There's no chance for the other guy to win generally if he's outclassed on the ground. So I don't know. I think the people that say that they're lacking a great deal of intelligence. But I mean, it's all right because wrestlers always dominate. Ground guys always dominate. Yeah, jiu-jitsu or wrestling.
I think they know because of this whole boxer thing calling out MMA fighters.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just
How are you feeling about the Mayweather and Logan Paul thing?
I honestly didn't even really pay too much attention. Although I did snag a Fight Club poster, I have it hanging in my gym for Ben Askren and Logan Paul, or no, Jake Paul. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it hanging up. I stole it from some barn girl in Harrisburg. I was like, I gotta get that thing in here.
I was really upset about that outcome. I'm still convinced it was rigged.
I don't know, man. Ben Askren's a turd. He's a scrub.
I feel like would a shot to the forehead knock you out if it was hard enough?
I don't know. Maybe if it was Ben Askren. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. It was definitely ridiculous, but you can't stop them from doing that. They're gonna do it. They're gonna have fun with it. So they're making money.
That's all they want to do is make money, and they're doing it. Same with Floyd Mayweather. He's about to make the easiest $100 million of his life.
Yeah.
In probably one round.
Yeah. It's wild. It's a crazy world, but at the end of the day, fighting, any type of fighting, whether it's UFC, bare knuckle boxing, boxing, just general boxing, it's all entertainment, man. Raw entertainment. So if you got guys that are getting people interested and you're stirring the pot and there's a lot of controversy, then I don't know. Then they're winning. The promoters are winning.
Did you make any money off this fight or no?
Through ticket sales, yeah. Not like a disclosed purse though.
Okay.
But I did well with ticket sales.
How'd you do? Can you say or no?
I mean, it did better than some pros do, but not either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
so,
I probably won't say
it. No, it's all good. All right. So, do you look for a wrestler in your next competition? Maybe see how you fight against a wrestler.
I was originally supposed to fight a wrestler. That fight didn't work out. I'll always be there. I don't know about the opponent, but I don't really care who it is, man. If it's a wrestler, great. If it's not, great. I don't know. Either or, I'll take anyone.
If you have a choice of your next opponent, what style would you pick? Because you're still amateur. You obviously want to get out there and get experience. What kind of fighter do you want to fight?
I don't necessarily know if I would want to fight any style of fighter. I don't have like any requests, I definitely would. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's a hard one. I don't really care. Doesn't matter. Anybody can get it.
Anybody can get it. Is your brother Toby getting into MMA?
No, he will be. Yeah, as soon as he gets home, he's got 2 more years of eligibility, and then he'll be back.
Years.
Yeah, 2 more years.
I thought he only had 1 left. Isn't he 2 years younger than us?
Yeah, but the COVID year.
Why didn't you use yours?
Because I would have been the year that didn't get it, the year that they canceled nationals. That was my year.
So seniors that year couldn't get it.
Nope.
That blows.
I know, it's wild.
Did you wrestle in conference?
Not my senior year, no. I had some stuff fall through, unfortunately. I beat the guy that won the MAC, though, if that counts for anything.
That counts.
Nah, it doesn't count. No, it was a shitty situation that happened, but, you can't do anything about it now.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, so what else are you just training every day? What are you doing now? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, that's basically what I do, yeah.
What's your training?
Just constantly.
What's it look like your schedule day to day?
I usually am in here twice a day. We have Tuesday and Thursday mornings in the shop early. We got some boys that come in and wrestle, and then one of my buddies, this is my strength conditioning coach. He drives out from Pittsburgh, and he's about to get his purple belt. But he's a really good mind to have around, and we get at it Tuesday, Thursday for a few hours, and then we have a class at 11 here, and wrestling Tuesday and Thursdays, which I'm moving next month to Monday and Wednesday, so that I can get to the formal class at Danilo's, because like when I was training for this past fight, I would do like a lot of like personal stuff with Danilo, a lot of stuff in the mornings. So I drive out like usually Wednesday and Saturday morning, and then usually hit 1 or 2 of his gi jiu-jitsu practices. So I don't know, man. It changes every day, but I'm always training, always doing something. Whether I'm training somebody or I'm training myself, just really staying active, staying absorbed, man.
Other than the National Guard, are you training full time? That's all you're doing?
Yeah, I wasn't for a while. I was working a lot with my dad, but then when we opened this up, I kind of had to take a hit because I couldn't really work, because there's a lot of work that goes in here behind the scenes that people don't see. So I'm constantly doing something with this place. So I really don't honestly have the time for it when you consider training yourself too. Because there's a difference between training, kids or high school guys and then yourself, getting ready for a fight. Like it's just completely different. So you really have to structure everything out.
Did that help you train for a fight? Because training other people sort of, I feel, helps you see what you're doing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, coaching teaches you how to learn. So I think it really it helps because you see small details that you might not have seen before. I think it helped me because we have some solid high school wrestlers, and wrestling is, man, it's tiring. So anytime you're training wrestling consistently, you got a guy that's in pretty good shape, and he's gonna understand what pressure is and how to dominate somebody. So wrestling with these guys consistently, I think, really helps me. But then there's pros and cons to it, because sometimes you get really tired and your body gets really beat down, and you have to know when to take a few days off and like step back. I think more so when you're doing this, that happens a little bit more than if somebody's just training, with a group of guys and they don't have to worry about teaching somebody. But there's some days I'm in here for 8 to 10 hours, and then I gotta work out. So it's different. It helps me because I'm always absorbed.
Yeah.
You're always seeing stuff. Your timing gets pretty good, but just like anything else, everything in moderation. You need to know how to balance it out.
So what is this 24/7 Pittsburgh? What's it called? The fighting organization?
Yeah, 247 fighting championships.
So is this they organize fights? They're like the UFC.
Yeah. It's a fight promotion. So there's your premium leagues. You know what I mean? You have like UFC #1. I don't know who the #2 organization would be. Like Professional Fighters League's really good. One championship, Bellator, is in the conversation somewhere. So there's a bunch of like top professional leagues. Those are big promotions. And then you have your regional promotions like the CFFC, which is like the best regional promotion on the East Coast. You have Titan FC, Fury Fighting Championships, the Legacy Fighting Alliance, LFA. There's like a ton of promotions, King of the Cage. But those are kind of like your promotions to show who your best fighters are in each region. The southwest part of the United States, the southeast, the northeast, and then the northwest, and then the Midwest too. So like they kind of rank the fighters with those organizations, and holding the belt in one of them, I mean, you're a little bit closer to getting a call than somebody else would be. So with that being said, Pittsburgh's main promotion right now is 247. It used to be Pinnacle, but now it's 247, and Ryan Middleton is the owner of that. So he has big plans for 247, and it's a great promotion, man. They put on a hell of a show.
How do you get out of that rule set where you can ground and pound?
I have to have 2 more amateur fights, 2 more amateur novice. So after, so my 4th fight, I can beat up their head on the ground.
I
Yeah, I think they let me throw elbows too. So
That's what I like to see, especially from a wrestler. That's why we go and watch wrestlers.
yeah, I know. I wish I could have done it, but
Oh.
it's coming soon.
Are all the fights that early? Because I thought I was hoping for a Saturday night fight. Or
Yeah, it sucks not fighting on Saturday night. You want to be the Saturday night special, but I don't know. It wasn't bad at 1 p.m.
did they have fights that night?
They had fights that night too. So they had 2 separate cards.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was on the 1 p.m. card. I didn't mind it. Honestly, I didn't think I would like it as much. Obviously, you always want to be at showtime. You know, it's just like the main event is always at night. So that kind of was like, it didn't have the same feel. But, you know, you get there, you wake up, there's no time to really psych yourself out. Like you have to sit around. You don't have to sit around all day and wait for a 7 p.m. card. You kind of just get up, get a warm-up in, go fight, and then you got the rest of the day to hang out and party. So it was fun.
I've got to come up to Berlin pretty soon. I told your mom I'd come up soon.
Yeah, you better.
I haven't been there in a while.
I know.
How's the town been? Has it been empty? Because I know it's a pretty small town. Has it felt empty lately?
Because COVID? Nah, man, we don't believe in COVID out here. They don't believe in it. It's no, it's the same as always. It's a self-sufficient town. It's small. I mean, it is ridiculously small out here, but we have everything we need. We don't have to leave.
Yeah, I finally got a new car. I don't have a shit box anymore, so I can. I'm going to Maryland tomorrow for 2 days, hanging out there, and then coming back. But yeah,
So I was playing.
I mean, I'm just selling cars here.
How's the podcast doing?
It's been doing great. It had it up, and I've been down a little bit lately, but it's gonna have its ups and downs. But
yeah,
I mean,
hopefully we can bring it back, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I don't really look at the views so much. I kind of look at the comments under it. Like under the Facebook post, if people are reacting to it, I like that. But
yeah, you gotta get some good content. You gotta ask me some funny shit.
I just kind of do my thing. I don't prepare for these. I just kind of go for it and go for the people. I don't know. I want to get into commentating too. I think I'd be good at that.
Yeah, it's fun.
I don't know much about fighting. I really only know about wrestling, so I gotta learn about the fight game.
Just run your mouth, dude.
What?
Just run your mouth.
That's why I was just gonna say I want to get kickboxing, like training myself, because you don't really understand something unless you do it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I feel I'd be kind of disrespecting.
Where are you gonna kickbox at?
The only place here is Clarion MMA.
I got you. Just do some jiu-jitsu, man. Get a gi.
I did last year during COVID for a little bit, and I stopped, and now I'm gonna get back into it.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu is the best, man. It's my favorite thing in the world.
I like it. Sometimes it's like kind of slow. I gotta get used to that pace because I went straight from wrestling to try doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's a chess match, man.
Yeah,
but it's good because it's not like that smashing style where you just wear your body out. You kind of just, I don't know. It's way better. It's way better.
You like it better than wrestling?
Oh yeah.
Why's that?
Oh my goodness, yeah. It's I mean, it's easier. Number one. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to be honest, wrestling sucks. It's hard. It takes a special person. It really does. But I think that it also is, jiu-jitsu is way more vast. You know, if you get taken down and put on your back, the fight just starts. And it's not a match, it's a fight. You know what I mean? So it shows you that, you know, the guy on the bottom always has a fighting chance. So, and it's not about power. It's not about speed. it's about intelligence. So if you can know where the guy's going, you're 3 steps ahead of him, it doesn't matter. And it's, I don't know, man, it's so much better because you could be dominating somebody and they can, get to like a single leg X. And then next thing you know, you're in a straight ankle lock, or they transition to a heel hook, and then it's, boom, game's over. Doesn't matter how tough you are. Doesn't matter how big you are. If you're good at jiu-jitsu, it's like it can save your life. So, and the people in jiu-jitsu, and you go to a tournament, everybody's just so chill.
So calm. They're
so calm, and they have nothing to prove, and it's not a pissing contest. It's awesome. It's way better.
Wrestlers are douchebags.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, it's some. I mean, if they don't adopt the mentality, there's, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's just different. That's a whole different conversation to go into about wrestlers, about the attitude.
Yeah, because a lot of people just don't understand them, I think.
We got a lot of weirdos, man.
A lot. Do you still think – I think people should get into wrestling first before they ever do jiu-jitsu.
From what standpoint?
What do you mean?
Why do you think that?
I feel like the stand-up game is so important. I mean, a jiu-jitsu guy against – I'm talking like I'm comparing the high-level guy, say a high-level wrestler. I don't know, because then you could look at the Gordon Ryan and Bo Nickel fight, and that was kind of – it was interesting.
I think what the biggest issue is, because I always thought that, and, I always have a bias, so sometimes I do think that. But then I see the kids that Danilo has in his youth program, and I'm just like, wow. The stuff that they're doing is unreal. Now, granted, he's also a judo black belt, and he's world renowned in judo. But it's hard to say. I think the biggest misconception with jiu-jitsu is when it first came to America, it's really starting to blow up right now. But when it first came to America, I would view it more as a commercialization thing, right? They were pumping out. You can go to Renzo Gracie gym and there's no Renzo Gracie there. You know what I mean? Like, he might come there once every 2 years for a belt promotion, and it's all just a moneymaker. So, yeah, I would say that wrestling at the collegiate level would be better than that, because those guys aren't pure jiu-jitsu guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a knockoff brand. But then you see like a guy like Danilo, and it's like, man, whew, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could beat that. You know what I mean? You just don't know if you could beat that guy. So it's like, I would say it's all about who you're learning from, man. If you learn jiu-jitsu from a guy that's extremely high level, it's just as good, if not better. I think it's better because you could finish a fight. You know what I mean? You get somebody's neck and you wrap around it, 4 seconds. That's all. That's it, man. It's done. Done deal. Depends who you're learning from. That would be my answer. And I think that a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms too, one big stigma they have is that they start sitting down because of limited space, and some people do it for competition, some do it for lifestyle, and you can't mix the two, really, So if you start sitting down, like, you're always putting yourself at a disadvantage because of the laws of gravity.
You think so? Because I noticed when I first started doing jiu-jitsu, all the guys would just sit down against me and kind of – that felt – does that feel weird to you when guys sit down? Because you're not –
No, I mean, I know how to deal with it now.
When you first started.
At first, I would probably just, like, barrel into him with a double leg and, like, flip a coin. 80% of the time the wrestler's going to pass just because they've never dealt with that type of pressure. 20% of the time they catch you in something cheesy, right? But if in a self-defense scenario, are you going to sit to your butt? No. You know what I mean? So it's not practical. It's stupid. And if you get somebody that's good, I mean, they're going to be able to deal with it. If you're like, you're just going to sit to your butt and you're going to scoot into, like, try to get a heel hook or something, I just don't think it's practical. No, I don't.
Do you think jiu-jitsu grows faster than wrestling? because they're
Do
both.
I think it grows faster?
Yeah, because they're both in the growing process in this country. I'm talking.
It would depend on the area of where you're at. It's more. I would say yeah, probably though, because jiu-jitsu is more friendly to. It's more friendly for all ages and all genders. You know what I mean? So
I mean, like from like an entertainment standpoint, you know how like the UFC is almost bigger than boxing now.
wait, what'd you say from a what standpoint?
Like entertainment, like TV wise, like you see how the UFC is doing now. Which one gets to that point first? Jiu-jitsu or wrestling?
I'd say wrestling's more entertaining right now because jiu-jitsu they do like a lot of like they might do a sub only match that might last 45 minutes. Nobody wants to watch that. Like, it's hard to get people to watch international wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's shorter than folk style. So from an entertainment standpoint, I think jiu-jitsu will grow better than wrestling, but wrestling will always be in the picture and it might even stay stronger in America because wrestlers dominate. Because when you look at, and I speak as a whole always, and this is just my take on it, but when you look at jiu-jitsu and you look at all of the gyms in America, like, and Danilo says it the best, right? There's a McDonald's in every town on every corner in the United States of America. It's the same thing with jiu-jitsu, right? But you might have one burger place that you remember forever, right? That one good burger place, you're like, man, that was legit. So it's the same way with jiu-jitsu. It's so commercialized that you're not always getting – sometimes you might just be getting a rundown bullshit version, you know what I mean, from some guy that's not really that good or doesn't really understand it. He's just trying to make a quick buck. Wrestling, if you're really good, it's hard. You sniff it out, man. It's easy to sniff that out. So wrestling is more honest. You can really dominate, and you can really always keep yourself in contention, I think, right? Because if an extremely high-level wrestler goes against a mid-level jiu-jitsu guy, he's going to rock his socks with pressure. I mean, that dude's not going to know what hit him. So that's just my take.
Yeah, the hard part is getting the outside world to be able to relate to wrestling.
It's never going to happen, man.
It can't. Yeah, that's what.
It can't happen. That's the thing, though. Like, if it was easy, everybody would do it. It just
like they don't have to want to do it. Like everyone watches the UFC, but not everyone wants to fight. But they get the punching and all that. It's wrestling. How do we get people to understand what they're trying to do in wrestling? Because people are like, I don't get it. You know what I mean?
That's a challenge. You can grow the sport, and every effort you have, in hopes to make it bigger and better. Right now, I know wrestling's like really pushing, female wrestling, which is awesome. But in order to get somebody to understand it, dude, it's impossible. I mean, it's almost impossible. It maybe not like at a lower level, maybe like, you see high school or junior high, they can understand it a little bit more. But once you start hitting that collegiate level, especially Division I, it's just something that's hard to understand because it's so damn hard. It's unreal. And everybody is so good. And you're just at constant war with yourself. Everything you do, you're at constant war. Man, if I eat that, that's going to mess up my practice. Or like, you know what I mean? Like there's certain ways to cope. You see a lot of guys with mental health issues in wrestling, like a lot of drug problems at the highest level. It's just hard, man. It's hard.
A lot of wrestlers don't even understand the higher levels unless they actually do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
When I came to Clay and I wrestled here, I mean, I'm like second, third string to Brock, but I have kids back home from Baltimore saying they'd be starting if they were here.
Yeah.
I beat them and I'm the third string here and I'm like, they just don't.
Yeah.
So you can't even get wrestlers to get it. So that's
I think deep down everybody gets it. I think it's just something they say to cope with themselves. I do. I mean, you hear it all the time, man. You like people, they want to pick. It's like, well, Pennsylvania is not the best wrestling state, and people want to throw their opinions out. Well, like, I don't know, man. We have PA versus the USA, and we win sometimes. I would say every time we win, they win 3, right? That's just PA to wrestle the United States. So yeah, PA is the best. Our numbers are the best every single year. It's not a discussion, right? But people will argue that, just like they'll argue that Division II is harder than Division I. It's not a thing. You know what I mean? You see guys that can't make Division I lineups go and they All-American in D2. Not saying that every Division II guy is worse than every Division I guy, but as a whole, there's no comparison. You know what I mean? But like people will argue that. It's wild, dude. It's just people talking.
That's all. Yeah. I brought up in Ferrero's podcast, I brought up the idea of the UFC having a wrestling match in their undercard and sort of forcing the people to kind of watch a wrestling match, I think that's
Cool.
a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Dana White loves wrestlers. He said it before. He loves wrestlers. So I mean, I can't tell him, but I think it'd be a great idea to go wrestling and have just in the undercard just a wrestling match. But like a good one, someone who's gonna score a lot, Yanni versus Zayn or something like that,
It definitely would be neat. Definitely an interesting. I never thought of that. I never thought of it. No.
I always think in my head, how can the sport grow? Because I want the best for wrestling. I'm always gonna want the best for wrestling.
I think the best thing for wrestling is happening too. You're seeing like the guys from, I don't want to say like a particular school, right? But you see the guys at the top right now in Division I, they're taking a different approach, right? And it's the best way to grow a sport is to think logically about your decisions and your approach to the sport, right? So cutting weight, that's a stigma that wrestling might forever have, because the last generation was just flat out stupid, right? They thought drinking water was weak and you could eat ice chips at lunch. And I mean, that's just dumb, flat out. So somebody that's intelligent goes, man, I don't want to wrestle because I don't want to do that. That's not good for my body. Now we're replacing it with like sports science, but now you have to fill a void for how many years? So I think that taking logical approaches is probably our best way, which, I mean, the guys at the top right now are doing that for us. So that's good. But, anytime that people that are influencing somebody on the sport of wrestling, they need to understand what's at stake. Like when I'm in here, I'm telling these kids, like, guys, because you have kids that they won't show up, but then they'll substitute it for like weightlifting. You know what I mean? They'll just lift instead of going to practice, but then they say they want to get good at wrestling. It's hard not to have a conversation with that and be like, listen, man, you got to take a logical approach if you want to get better at wrestling. Lifting is a supplement to your wrestling. Right? It's a small fraction. You can't replace the skill, right? But it's just an example.
Say what the coaches will be like. I heard the coaches in Maryland always say this. They're like, we might not be the best team, but we're gonna be the most in shape team. And I told the coach, I was like, you can't prove how in shape you are if you're getting pinned in 10 seconds.
No, you can't. But it just that just shows lack of knowledge. That's all it is. Right?
Huge. Lack
of knowledge and lack of confidence in your ability as a coach. No.
I think we're growing in the most healthy way. That's why it's going to be slow, because we're not getting soft. Like the whole boxing thing where they care about their records. Like now, who do we have? Who's Seth Gross wrestle? Who bumped up to wrestle him? We're having like one versus one. Was that
Oh, I didn't even see it.
dudes they're just going for it. They want the best guys, and I feel like wrestlers are really going for the competition. They're not worrying about their records, even though they kind of don't have a choice in college. But
That's another thing that's hard too, because it'll never change. I feel like in wrestling, because they're not making a ton of money. You know, the way these guys are making money through coaching or through doing clinics. Professional boxing and fighting, you know, MMA, mixed martial arts, like there's so much damn money that if they have somebody like McGregor and he sells tickets, like, dude, they're going to protect that guy.
but
And they're going to make him seem unbeatable because he's making money. So wrestling, the only way really to prove your worth is to be the best. To be the best, you got to beat the best. So let's figure it out, you know? And that's why wrestlers succeed.
but I think the UFC is sort of in the same position as wrestling because these best guys are bumping up and trying to get a second belt. That's kind of the thing now. If you think about it, I mean, that's what Connor's done his whole life. Not his whole life, his whole UFC career.
Yeah. I mean, the double belt thing is, but it's still political, man.
Boxers aren't doing that.
No, boxers aren't doing that, man.
No, they're
But then
not.
again, like a guy like John Jones, and I love John Jones, but my take on it is that he doesn't want to fight Francis Ngannou, which who does? He probably thought Stipe was going to win, so he bumped up because he wanted to fight Stipe. He thought he could beat Stipe, but he doesn't think he could beat Ngannou. So now it's like he's stuck. He's 3 fights down the road, right? Because you got to fight Derek Lewis, which would be an easy first round knockout for Ngannou, and then you got to always give Stipe the chance to take his belt back, right? And then you got John Jones, pending everything goes well. So I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Who does John fight first? You think he comes back maybe loser of the Francis Ngannou versus Lewis? Because he's not going to fight Stipe. No shot he gives him another chance.
I don't know who they'll give him, man.
Derek Lewis, if he loses to Ngannou, which is likely.
Probably.
I like
Yeah. John Jones, dude.
right now I'm focused. I want Conor to continue to be great. I want him to be.
He lost a dog, man.
I don't think so.
He lost it. I'm the biggest Conor McGregor fan in the whole wide world, but I think that Dustin Poirier is not very good. I don't understand what he's doing to beat guys. He's just a pressure fighter. You know, he just stays in your face and goes. I mean, which can't be hard to beat, but I don't know what it is about him. I just don't see anything that's like, it doesn't like stand out like some of the guys you watch, you know, like trying to think of like of a good example. He just doesn't like fit the mold of like a champ. I don't know what it is, but
Michael Chandler should be the champ right now.
he's good. Yeah, he's tough.
He lost that fight? He just lost?
Yeah. They're also good at the top level though, so it's hard to say. He almost finished him.
Yeah, in the first round. That would have been like the wrestler's champion right there.
Yeah, but see, Michael Chandler's still hungry. Like he wants that title. So I wouldn't say he's out of contention yet, but I don't see it in Conor, man. He has so much money.
Just made $600 million.
Just think about it. When he was interviewed, you know, he wanted to be world lightweight champion in the UFC, have more money than he knew what to do, or than he knew what to do with. Right? That was his goal. He's hit it, and he shows it. Like he's lost a dog, man. He needed that money when he first started. He needed it. He didn't have any. He was broke as shit.
Yeah.
So.
But he did it, man. He's gonna go down as one of the greatest ever for just.
Oh, he reveled. I don't even know how to say it, but yeah, he changed the game forever.
You think there's gonna be another McGregor?
What do you mean?
Like someone who comes in, because like it was started out with Floyd. He was an attraction for his own reasons. Then it was Conor. Now they're both gone.
Yeah, there'll be somebody. But then it'll be
Chandler, maybe? He comes back.
Chandler, man. He's old. He's on his way out. Man, he's not going to change. There's no movement with Michael Chandler. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain guys that, like, there's no energy. and the UFC needed Conor McGregor. You know, there'll be somebody, you know, like George St. Pierre. Like there was an energy to him. It was like, who is this dude? He was unique because he was authentic. I think the biggest thing with fighters now is that they're not authentic, man. They're all fake. They're pretending to be somebody. They're like Colby Covington. You know what I mean? He's a fake dude. Like he's a fake dude. So like, how do you sell him? I like to think that the next fighter that's going to make a wave is your American wrestler that is just a blue collar dude, like a Matt Hughes type of guy.
Doesn't give a fuck.
You know, a guy that's he just has worked for everything, and that kind of the American people need that right now. You know, they need somebody to look at and be like, man, this guy gets it. You know, he's got good values. He's just a good dude, and he can scrap, right? That like steel mill mentality. So I think that's the next guy. There's going to be somebody, and he's going to change the game. He's going to be a face. Not a guy like Bryce Meredith, though. You know what I mean? Like he's already like only so many guys can like him. You know what I mean? Like he just there's no story there. Just a good wrestler that
it's got to be like someone who didn't wrestle in college, right? He's was a low level wrestler. He's got like a, you know what I mean, like a story where he was like a sucky wrestler, but then comes back and he's a good fighter. Some guy in his
man.
You know, they still his mid to late 20s, just comes in rocking people.
You need
got cut from his wrestling team in college.
You need a guy from a small state school, man. You need a Frank Yeager.
Frankie Yeager.
You need a guy like that, man. Only not a Jersey guy. No offense to any Jersey boys.
Greg's a Jersey boy now.
Yeah, Greg is a Jersey boy.
Oh yeah, but all right, man. It was
right.
It was nice having you on.
Oh yeah.
Sure, people are gonna get to know their future favorite fighter.
That's right. I'm that guy, dude. I'm that guy that I was talking about.
Dude, you're already my favorite.
And the revival of Matt Hughes, man. The new and improved edition.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it, dude. I'm looking forward to DeLong too, getting on there too.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Just because you guys are my former teammates, I want to see you guys knocking people out.
And because we're bad motherfuckers.
Oh yeah. Well, that's all.
All right, man.
All right, dude. I'll see ya.
All right, see ya. Thanks.
What's going on?